Hello everybody, it's Gzilla 2010 again, and I'm coming at you with a 1 year later, 2021 DVD and Blu-ray collection update. It's been about a year since my last collection video showcasing my DVD and Blu-ray collection, and so I figured I might as well update it and show it off again and see how the collection's grown. I'm sure if you've compared it to my last video, there is a lot more stuff here already. And there's a kitty. But, yeah, this is just the horror section and the et cetera, but I'll just get right into it. So, as you may or may not remember, I kind of have a weird organization method. I sort by franchise and I sort by release date. So, I usually sort by oldest to newest, and then I usually keep sequels and remakes, etc. together. So this section here under the TV is franchises. This up and down tower is all franchises. And then these sections are non-franchise related, these two towers here. So I'll just get started by looking at the nook in the TV here. This has obviously a pretty big update. So I have the Halloween series, that hasn't changed. I've got my documentaries up there, but I also have the Scream Factory Deluxe Edition of the Friday the 13th franchise. And, you know, as soon as I saw that, and I remember looking back at the Halloween set that they put out, and I was like, I can't miss this one. So I had to pre-order it, and it is absolutely amazing. And I decided to take it out real quick just so you could look at it. It's absolutely fantastic. Artwork is amazing, beautiful, completely, you know, all the way around. Then you've got the uniform labels, as well as the bonus features and the booklet. You can have alternate covers on most of these as well. It's just a fantastic set, and this I did get the replacement discs for it, so there is no technical issues in my set. So this is a fantastic set. Movies look great. I'm very, very happy with this. And at the bottom, some stuff has been moved around because of lack of space and etc. But most of this is the same stuff that I have last time. I've got, you know, Saw, Scream, Hellraiser. I've got Texas Chainsaw Massacre down here as well. The Dawn of the Dead, or the Night of the Living Dead trilogy, the first three, and then Child's Play back there. So that hasn't changed much. I absolutely love these as well. Taking a look at more franchises here. This has a lot more in it. I've collected a lot more franchise stuff, I mean, as well as other things, but there's a lot more franchise-related films that I had to move from various sections to here, and vice versa. So recently, I mean, I'm a really big fan of the 80s generally, but I sort of recently developed a new re-affinity, I guess, for pre-MPAA horror. So anything like pre-Night of the Living Dead, I sort of got back into a little bit more this past year. So as you can see, I've got more Universal Monster stuff now. I've got this set, which has like some of the essentials on it, but then I've got the complete Frankenstein collection, Mummy collection, and Invisible Man collection here, as well as Creature from the Black Lagoon. So there's a lot of great stuff there. I've got stuff like the Old Dark House, this William Castle set, which has the Old Dark House remake on it. I've moved the Thing from sci-fi to horror because I feel like it fits more with the remakes, etc. I have the Blob films, the Blob and Criterion collection. This I moved because it has the 80s Blob on it. And one of my new favorites franchises is the Hammer Dracula series. So here I've got all of the Hammer Dracula films. They're kind of released out of order a little bit, and they're in a weird area, I guess. But I'm very much enjoying watching Hammer films recently, so I'm trying to get my hands on some more stuff, and I'll get into more of it later. But Christopher Lee as Dracula, excellent. So that's all of the Christopher Lee Dracula films. I do not have Brides of Dracula, but that's got Peter Cushing in it, but no Christopher Lee. So this is just all of the Hammer Dracula films. Then I've got Psycho, I've got Jaws, moved The Omen here as well. Suspiria, I've got the It's Alive trilogy, I've got the Alien and Predator series. I didn't talk about this much last time, I think, but I've got this awesome Alien anthology Blu-ray, like quadrilogy pack that has the first 4 Alien films on it, and that's pretty cool. And then I've got, obviously, Predator and AVP and Prometheus, etc., etc. got Phantasm. I've got, those are all individual releases. I've moved The Shining here because I got Dr. Sleep recently. I'll have to give that a watch still. Stuff like Poltergeist, My Bloody Valentine in this remake. I've moved Ghostbusters down here. Got House 1 and 2. Got Maniac Cop, which is pretty cool. I've got Maniac Cop 1, 2, and 3. I've moved Puppet Master here. I've got all the Puppet Master films still, including the newest one, Blade the Iron Cross. I've got the It films, the Candyman trilogy, all of the Leprechaun films, Wishmaster, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I've got the Japanese Ring, Ringu, which is excellent. I always loved the Gore Verbinski Ring, which is up there, but Ringu I thought was almost better, or just as good. Speaking of Japanese horror, we've got some more of Grudge films. I've had the American Grudge trilogy for a while, but I've got the two Ju-On the Grudge films, the Japanese ones, and then I've got the new Grudge. I've got the Wrong Turn series, including the new Wrong Turn reboot. Got the Rob Zombie trilogy. This is House of Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell. Got the Hostel trilogy. I know Hostel 3 is kind of rare. Got Silent Hill, which is pretty great. And then because I've ran out of space, of course, I had to start stacking these again. So most of the same stuff, but I did get the Human Centipede trilogy and the Purge 4-film set. So Human Centipede's pretty freaking crazy. And starting out on this first tower here, which is non-franchise related. So we go all the way down to the bottom, and you've got one of the earliest horror films ever made, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. This is just like a public domain, cheap version of it. I'm sure there's other versions of it available that are better, but that's just the one that I have. Got like a Lugosi and Karloff collection, so I've got like Invisible Ray, Black Cat, and Black Friday. Speaking of Hammer again, I've got Curse of Frankenstein there, and there's Taste of Blood of Dracula on a double disc, which is kind of neat. And then you keep going up, so, you know, obviously from the 20s to 30s and 40s and 50s. Some of these could be considered more sci-fi than horror, but, you know, we've got like Fiend Without a Face, House on Haunted Hill, The Tingler, you know, some Vincent Price movies. Got the Herschel Gordon Lewis Blood trilogy. So you have like some of the first splatter flicks ever made. And again, more pre-MPAA horror like The Night Walker and all this other stuff like that. More Cushing and Lee, not Hammer, but, you know, you've got stuff like The Creeping Flesh on this triple pack, and the cult classic Horror Express. Very cool stuff. And, you know, I like sorting by release date because it just gives a good indication of what films are from which, you know, era, I guess. I consider each decade to be like an era of film, and I'm often in the mood to like pick out certain films that I want to watch based on what year it came out in, or like what decade it came out in. You know, just recently I watched Lucio Fulci's Zombie, and this is very indicative of the late 70s, early 80s, which is, you know, a time period in film that I really enjoy. And, you know, of course, you keep moving up, and you've got all kinds of stuff here, like, you know, all kinds of really fun stuff like The Devil's Reign, and mainstream stuff like Carrie, and, you know, all this other weird stuff, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Very, very fun set. Keep going up, you know, I love slasher films, so I've got a bunch of slasher films here. Particularly I'm fond of like Just Before Dawn and The Burning. I like the camp ones a lot. You go up, you got some those Grindhouse releases there, and some Arrow Video, Scream Factory, some of those boutique labels that have really good movies. And this tower goes all the way up to 1984 here, ending as of right now with Silent Night, Deadly Night, as you can see. Starting here at the bottom of this set, we've got 1985 and up. So starting with Return of the Living Dead here, you know, we've got some collection packs and other things like that which have all kinds of great movies and very silly movies. I love the silly and like really weird like special effects like extravaganzas like From Beyond and you know, The Brain or Society here. All that stuff I think is very, very fun as well, just like slashers are as well. And then obviously transition from the 80s to the 90s here between Pet Sematary, which is 89, and Misery, which is 90. And you still have a lot of the weird kooky stuff, but it starts getting into more territory here. I don't have a lot from the 90s in this particular section, but from the, mid to late 90s and early 2000s as we go up here, horror becomes more serious and more modern. Obviously, I've got plenty of weird things. Like, I don't know if this is even really horror, but I put it here anyway. This is probably the strangest film that I own. Probably the strangest film I've ever seen, if I'm being honest. That's a kooky one. But, and I've recently was rating the family video. So I ended up getting a bunch of, like, really weird, like, I got some stuff that you might know about, like the Green Inferno. It's still got this family video sticker on there because the family video in my local town was going out of business. But I ended up getting some other weird stuff like Mr. Hush here. Like, what's this? Stars Brad Loree from Halloween Resurrection. That can't bode well. But, and then I've got obviously some of the crazy things like, I have not watched this yet, but I know this is a trip. I'll just leave it at that. But very mainstream and very obscure things as well. That's kind of like the gist of the collection. I like having a big variety of stuff that, is very indicative of each era. And I have all the way up to Midsummer here, which is 2019. And on top, I've got a 50 horror pack. This is like the public domain sets. These are pretty cool. It's got a lot of, like, great movies on it. Like, it's got, Carnival of Souls and Nosferatu and, all this other stuff. But it's also got a bunch of crap on it, like, the Screaming Skull and whatever else, And then over here on this tower is not too different, but, this is just like general action, science fiction, and just other great movies that I enjoy. So I've got, like, Star Wars there, the complete series, Rocky and Creed, Planet of the Apes. I've got one of the X-Files seasons here. This is season 3, and then the second X-Files movie. I've got Mad Max here, RoboCop, Terminator, Rambo, Matrix, and then I've got Mortal Kombat and Enter the Dragon. I kind of consider Enter the Dragon to be very Mortal Kombat-like. I mean, it's a very big inspiration, obviously, for Mortal Kombat, so I kind of included it with the other Mortal Kombat films. And on the opposite side of the TV here, I've got, well, there's PlayStation 2 games stacked up there, but I've got the Godzilla section, which has gone through a couple changes. I've got that nice classic media display case just sitting out there. And I've got the entire Godzilla franchise, of course. As a fan, you got to have the complete series. I also have a bootleg of the anime trilogy now on DVD, which is pretty nice. There is no official Region 1 release of the anime films except for Netflix. There's no disc release in Region 1 yet, so I figured I might as well just pick them up and, add them to the collection so I could be complete. I've got, like, the animated series, the 98 film, and then some extra stuff down there as well. Here on this side of the TV, this is a little less organized, but this is basically mostly it's animation and comedy. So at the bottom section here in the back, there's some duplicates and some not so good stuff that you can't really see, which is fine. But I've got Pokemon films. I got Pokemon films 1 through 8. I've got the incomplete Fullmetal Alchemist series, Dragon Ball Z Season 3, Studio Ghibli, Miyazaki's Spirited Away. I've got some comedies here like The Goonies, Sandlot, Pee-wee, Big, and Monty Python. So that's kind of neat. And the top section is also mostly animation. Most of this is reserved as kids animation. But I got stuff like Family Guy back there, and then here I've got Watership Down and the Plague Dogs, which are very much more adult. But I've got Land Before Time, the complete series there. I've got Scooby-Doo. I've got the complete Scooby-Doo original series, Where Are You? I've got a couple of other volumes there. That's Scooby-Doo Season 3 it's from the Scooby-Doo show, that it's also included here for some reason. It's kind of a strange, weird setup. It's packaged as Season 3 of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? But I think it's Season 3 of the Scooby-Doo show, which was a later series. I've got some other Scooby-Doo films. I got Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, of course, and Alien Invaders, Witch's Ghost, and Cyber Chase. I've got the live-action Scooby-Doos. A few other movies. I've got the complete Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated series, which I think, other than the original series and maybe the Scooby-Doo show, it's the best one. And I think most people would agree with me. This is probably the best since the original Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. Fantastic series. And they've got Monster House and Nightmare Before Christmas, some personal favorites of mine. I've got Final Fantasy VII, Advent Children Complete here as well. Oh, and then I've got, yeah, there's that. And then I've got Scooby-Doo Monster of Mexico there as well. I almost forgot about that one. I'm very much looking forward to finishing Attack on Titan for anime. That's, at the time of recording this, it's almost over. At least the final season, as of right now, is almost over. So I'm looking for a complete series package of Attack on Titan before I commit myself to buying that on physical media. And then I'll have that displayed here as well once that comes out and is ready to go. And on this tower here, I've got just the general science fiction and monsters that are not Godzilla related. This is, you know, other kaiju films, some random like monster films that don't really fit into horror, that are more science fiction-y, and all this other stuff. So this is kind of its own category. Although I think you could merge horror and science fiction into the same category pretty easily, but I keep them separate here. So down at the bottom, you've got King Kong and, you know, all the King Kong films. I'm still missing King Kong Escapes. I still have not found a good, cheap version of that, and hopefully it gets re-released at some point. But, you know, I've got all kinds of great films. You've got classics, and then you've got a bunch of weird stuff, too. You know, I've got Forbidden Planet, which is a classic. Then I've got, you know, I think this is the Universal collection. Volumes 1 and 2 for classic science fiction monster films. Those are great, very, very fun movies, very enjoyable. You know, I've got all kinds of weird stuff, like From Hell It Came. You gotta love this one. The Killer Tree, Attack of the Giant Leeches is fun. You know, I've got obviously some Toho films as well, and like Vera and the Unbelievable, that's the American cut. And then you've got the Japanese cut of like Dogora. I've got Gorgo as well. I kind of got stuff from like almost everywhere. Obviously, I've got the Gamma franchise. I believe I've talked about that one before. I've got Dimaggian Trilogy. This is actually a really rare Blu-ray now. This is a Mill Creek set. I've heard telltales that these movies are getting re-released by Arrow. I'm not sure on that yet, but this Blu-ray is pretty nice. It's good quality, although I was having trouble with the subtitles, and I couldn't get the subtitles off of the English version, so I just watched these in Japanese, which is fine. But since the dubs are there, I just couldn't figure out how to remove the English subtitles. But still, very rare Blu-ray and very fun movies to watch for sure, especially if you're a kaiju fan. Very unique. I've got, like, you know, Yongari as well. Valley of Gwangi, I've been looking for this one for a long time, and I finally got this one as a gift, which is very nice. Land of Time Forgotten, not to be confused with The Land Before Time, of course. I've got Ultra Q, finally got Ultra Q. Very fun, silly series, kind of like Ultraman, except without Ultraman, basically. Very, very cool, though. Space Amoeba, last of the Toho films I think I've got here. I need to get the new Tremors film still. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's the 7th Tremors film. I've got The Host, which is one I've also been looking for a long time. I haven't watched it yet, but Bong Joon-ho is obviously, you know, a fantastic director, and this is supposed to be one of his best movies, so pretty excited for that. I've got Cloverfield. I finally decided to bite the bullet and put the Cloverfield films together. That's from Family Video, from my Family Video raid. It was like $1, so I figured why not grab it and include all of these together. I'm just excited that they're making a proper sequel to the original Cloverfield, because as much as I enjoy 10 Cloverfield Lane, it's just not connected to this one in any way, really. And then this one I did not enjoy at all, personally. But then you've got other stuff, too. Troll Hunter is really good. Again, a great found footage film like Cloverfield, but a little more reserved and more world building, I think. Got stuff like Monsters and Monsters Dark Continent. Did not like Monsters Dark Continent, but I did like Monsters. Clash of Titans and Pacific Rim. Did not like Pacific Rim Uprising much at all. Colossal's kind of a weird movie. And then I've got this 50 Sci-Fi Classics collection, which is like the horror one, except, you know, it's all kinds of public domain films. There's some good stuff on there, but there's a lot of bad ones, too. And then we moved upstairs to the upstairs cabinet. Not much is really different here, although there is stuff's been moved around and stuff's been removed and put downstairs, and some stuff's been put upstairs and all this other stuff. But mostly it's the same stuff from last time. But, you know, I've got all kinds of stuff here. There's not a lot of organization here. This is mostly just like extras and storage and stuff that doesn't really fit into like my personal mold. Even though I'd love to display some stuff downstairs, I just don't have the space to make a superhero category. I've got all of the MCU films up to Far From Home, and all the X-Men films, most of the Batman films and DCU films. Not everything yet. You know, I've got This Is My Sister's The Complete Friends series, but, you know, I've got all this stuff. I just don't have the space downstairs as of right now to make a superhero like section as much as I would like to. I'd love to bring everything together one day in my own place, but for now this is just how it is. Again, sort of a theme here. I've got like some great films here, like, you know, 300 and Edge of Tomorrow, and Then There Were None, District 9, you know, Tron. Well, that's debatably a great film, but you've got like Close Encounters, Arrival, Blade Runner, Shape of Water, you know, Inception, all kinds of cool stuff. This is mostly comedy, although there's some drama, and obviously if we go up, you've got like Pulp Fiction and Braveheart and The Green Mile, but, you know, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is my favorite Jim Carrey film. But yeah, you got stuff like, you know, you got like John Hughes films like 16 Candles and Uncle Buck and all this other stuff, but very, very cool. Very fun to keep looking at all this other stuff. In the back, you know, I'll pull this back and have you take a look here, but you got like Looney Tunes and Flintstones. You've got Mission Impossible, all kinds of weird stuff that's just not categorized or sorted much. I try to keep the franchises together still here. Obviously, I've got like Harry Potter, and then I've got Hunger Games and Lord of the Rings and Hobbit, but everything that isn't really associated with a franchise or sequel, it just kind of gets put wherever it fits. I try to bring like the cool stuff to the forefront, or the cooler stuff. Got the Transformers films. I just realized now that this is like horrendously out of order. But yeah, you got Transformers films, and then you've got Pirates of the Caribbean. Some of the Mummy films, not all of them. Scorpion King's included on that set as well. I've got Jurassic Park series. And obviously I've got, you know, all the superhero films as well. And then there's Christmas films. In the back, there's TV series and franchises. That hasn't changed from last collection update. I've got kids films in the back as well, like if I take these away. I've got like, you know, Kung Fu Panda, Over the Hedge, all kinds of stuff. There's Disney movies, DreamWorks movies, anything you can think of really that would be related for that stuff. But yeah, I think that about does it for my updated DVD Blu-ray collection. At the behest of some of my colleagues, I might make some more videos of me talking about DVDs and Blu-rays and films and all this other stuff eventually. But for now, I just wanted to give a big update of my collection and how much, obviously, I enjoy talking about this kind of stuff. So, yeah, just for now, you know, enjoy the collection update. I'll definitely at least do this annually. If not, I'll you know, do more stuff about the collection and my personal thoughts and opinions on lots of these movies. And hopefully I'll be able to have more time to knock out viewing a bunch more of them. But yeah, this has been updated DVD and Blu-ray collection. All right, this is Jesus 2010 signing out.